Yo guys, here we go. What's going on this absolutely beautiful, beautiful Friday? It is getting into the weekend. We got a lot of good matchups this week. All right, so this video, I got a couple things I want to just chat about. Um, Once again, not really a set thing. Don't really want to run nearly 40, 45 minutes long like the last video did. But I do want to get into a couple things here. So we're a third of the way through the season, and at this point we've kind of got a good sample size. We got out of the first 3 weeks of the season where everybody's trying to get their legs underneath them, as we've seen. Saw some really bad football for the first 3 weeks. And now we're into the time where we're set. Like, we're looking pretty good to know what the teams are right now, and some of the improvements they are going to have to make. Um, so let's just look at this real fast. Hang on a second. Something is not right here. Hold on a second. See what's going on. Oh, that's why. There we go. Music was not going to the correct location. All right, now it's there. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the first year coaches. We're going to take a look at the first year coaches today, and kind of just give them a grade for so far this year, a third of the way through. We'll do this again here in probably about 6 weeks again, when we get through week 12, as we head into the final stretch of the season. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and let's dive into this right here. Okay, so the one I want to, the one that I really don't think is where it should be, is Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith right now has the Texans in a position as a team. You do not want to play them at all. They're 1-3-1. They easily could have beaten the Colts week number 1. They only have a negative 13-point differential. So altogether at 1-3-1, they've only been outscored by 13 points. Their defense is one of the best points per game defenses there is. Their offense still has some work to do, but you know what? That's okay. You got less than average receivers outside of Brandon Cooks. They've got a really good running back in Dameon Pierce. And they seem to have a very competent quarterback in Davis Mills, but it's just not there. Like, you can tell something is off, and it's just not there. They just had their bye week. They're coming off their bye week. And they get the Raiders this weekend. Not an easy matchup, but then again, this is one of those matchups. It kind of looks set up coming off of a bye week where you'd be able to play. The problem is the Raiders are doing the same thing. Lovie Smith, to me, for the Texans, was brought in for one specific reason, and that was to get the foundation of the team built back up. This team was never an 11, 12 win powerhouse football team, even with Deshaun Watson. It was a 9, 10, maybe tops 11, but it was a 9 or 10 win playoff team when they won the division, while the Colts just could not get their act together. That is what this team can be. And Lovie Smith is there on purpose to build a foundation, lead men, grow the organization. And for me, the way that the Texans are playing, for me personally, I give Lovie Smith 100% a B. Straight up average. He's doing his job. You have to understand your job. They had a great draft. Great draft. Michi is on the injured reserve, unfortunately. That's going to be an amazing receiver. That would have given them an extra little bit of push there. They hit on Damian Pierce, the running back out of Florida. Derek Stingley is good. Kenyon Green, the guard from Texas A&M, good. Petrie, the safety from Baylor, good. They hit on a lot of their draft picks. Give them another year with the foundation being built and set. We don't know if Davis Mills is a all-time quarterback. No clue about that one. I think he can be, but I think he's very system set. But we'll see. If you want to give him another year, this is a second year. If you don't see it, they get to move off of him. They could easily get a quarterback in the draft, move on to Will Levis, potentially, and bring in a little bit different setup. I think the cap room they'll have gives them ability in the free agent market. The defense is molding itself. It's a cover two. It's a simple defense. Lovie Smith gets a solid B because he's doing his job. It's not about getting wins for Houston. It's about bringing the respect back to the organization. They got rid of Easterby. Jack Easterby is out. I think this organization understands they need to grow, get the trash out, and I think they're doing it really well, and Lovie Smith is helping that along. All right, next coach, Matt Eberflus in Chicago. This is one of the hard ones. I will be straight up honest with you. This is probably the hardest one for me to gauge because as a general, what you want to see when you are a fan or even when you're looking at how things are working about, you want to see the coach's speciality getting stronger. The Bears defense is no joke. It is no joke. Listen to these scores. They beat the 49ers week 1, 19-10. In the rain, in the muck, we all know they shouldn't have won that game. They did. They lost to the Packers 27-10. They beat the Texans 23-20. Lost to the Giants 2012, lost to the Vikings 29-22, and then just lost to the Commanders 12-7. I will go out on a straight limb and go, defense ain't the problem here. Your defense is not the problem. They're allowing 19.7 points per game. The problem is the offense is only scoring 15.5, the second worst in the NFL. Matt Eberflus, the defensive side of the ball, I will be honest with you, he's done his job on the defensive side of the ball. I like what he's done on defense. He's a great defensive coordinator, never had a question there. Don't know if he can be a great head coach. But to me, the offense is so bad. His pick for offensive coordinator wasn't great, honestly. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it. He's Chicago. He's defense. He's tough. The defense is playing great. Roquan Smith. Somebody should have tried to twist Chicago's arm and get him. Oh my goodness, that guy is an amazing middle linebacker. But I think as far as the coach is concerned, probably a C to a C plus because the offense with Justin Fields, Darnell Mooney, and I know they don't have a ton, but you got to be focused more on the offense. Your defense looks great, but doggone it, you got to get the offense because unless you can score points, your defense means almost nothing. So I'm going to give C to C plus. We'll see what the next 6 games holds. Kevin O'Connell for the Minnesota Vikings, A. Looking absolutely dang fantastic. You are doing absolutely everything you need to do right now. You're at 5-1. Your only loss is to the only undefeated team, the Philadelphia Eagles. Your defense has done a lot better this year, but you're gonna have to widen the gap between yourself and the rest of the division as far as skills concerned. So they still struggle. They're winning close games compared to what they did last year. Last year they lost close games. This year they're winning close games. Games that are decided by a touchdown or less. They've already won 3 of those compared to last year. but they're not overpowering. They let the Bears back into the game. They didn't blow out the Lions because they let the Lions come back into the game. Kevin O'Connell absolutely gets an A. He turned the team around fast, gave them an offensive focus that is perfect for this team. Perfect for this team. Knows how to use the weapons, doing a great job. They're 5-1, looking good. I think they're going to win the division. I think they're going to win it running away right now. Running away, hands down. So Kevin O'Connell easily gets an A. Dennis Allen with the New Orleans Saints. Last night, I'll do a quick game recap. Saints versus Cardinals. My pick was the Cardinals, only because they were home. You'll have noticed most all my Thursday night picks, I'm picking the home team because there is a lot of value in being home for a Thursday night football game. A lot of value. I think the away team is at a very big disadvantage unless they're coming off of a bye. So the home team has so much more ease into everything. And they don't have to travel. They're already there. So that's kind of how I look at those games. Arizona really shouldn't have won last night. Andy Dalton's 2 pick sixes turned the game around. The Cardinals offense, yeah, it worked, but the Saints defense got tired. You could tell they're just tired. But the Saints offense moved the ball on that defense. Like, the Cardinals are not that good. The record's going to show, yeah, they're sitting right there. No, they're not. They're really not on the cusp of anything. Even with DeAndre Hopkins back, I don't like the way that it is. The Saints defense was solid enough. And then they had 2 pick sixes that completely changed the game before half, and it was rough. It was rough. Dennis Allen, I'm going to give him a C, C minus. They're not good. The offensive side of the ball is relatively weak. I know Andy Dalton's playing right now. Jameis Winston should never have been picked to start. At this point, I really would run with Taysom Hill. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I would start Taysom Hill. The guy is a Swiss Army knife. I'd almost go get somebody else to complement him. I really would. I would go find, I don't want to get rid of him, but like Sam Ehlinger with the Colts, the backup for the Colts. He can do a lot of what Taysom Hill can do as far as the physicality wise. Make this offense so unpredictable. Kamara, White, Landry, Thomas, Olave. You need a quarterback that can throw, but dang it, you can win this. You can win in this league by nobody having a clue what the heck you're doing. Nobody having a clue of what's going on. But C to C plus. I don't like how he ran the offense. Normally I am all for coordinators moving into the head coaching position that have been in the organization for a while. This one I kind of questioned. I felt if you're going to leave, go away from Sean Payton, one of the best offensive minds in the game. You needed to get somebody else that could do that. And now they're sitting behind in the division, and they're not going to make the playoffs. But this could be what Dennis Allen needs. Let's be honest, it could be what he needs. Get a better draft pick, and we'll see what happens. I'm wondering if they're going to make a couple trades here. They could trade Thomas before the trade deadline. Trade deadline is November 1st. They lose and go to 2-6. You can probably get a little bit for Michael Thomas, especially since Christian McCaffrey yielded a pretty big return, and he's got the injury risks as well. So we'll see what happens, but C to C plus on Dennis Allen. Doug Peterson, straight up B plus. The team plays hard. The offense looks good. They're still young. Don't fault them for being young. Biggest mistake so many people make is they fault teams for being young. Do not fault the Jacksonville Jaguars for still being young. It's a first-year head coach. He went 2-4. The team is playing tough. They took the Eagles straight to the brink. The Colts, they shut them out in the first time in Indianapolis. Somehow the Colts came away with it. But do not blame the team for being young. Don't blame the coach for being young. This team is a solid team. I am not looking forward to having them in our division for years to come. I am not looking forward to having Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence together in this division for the next 5-10 years. It just does not excite me whatsoever. The chemistry is there. The team is there. They've got a solid defense. If they're able to keep the core for another 3 years, they could win 2 of the next 3 division titles easily, very easily. B plus, easy to him. He's got to work on a couple different things, but really that's it. Nathaniel Hackett, Denver Broncos, F. You have one of the best quarterbacks that you could get, and you just botched it. Your offense can't score. You're an offensive coordinator, and your offense can't score. Forget all the injuries. You've got weapons. You got Sutton. You got Judy. Okay, it's Denver Broncos have always had running backs out the line. Like, come on. You got Russell Wilson. Are you kidding me? You flunked. You should be fired. F flunk fired. Like, Nathaniel Hackett has not shown the ability to lead a team. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Move off of him at the end of the year. These billionaires can afford $42 million. Move off of him at the end of the year. Go get Eric Bieniemy from Kansas City. I mean, really, if you want to, go get Byron Leftwich from Tampa Bay. Go get one of these offensive coordinators. Go get somebody that has the ability to lead men. You may actually, that's why I'm saying Bieniemy. I think you need somebody that can come into Denver, bring respect to the organization, because Nathaniel Hackett's embarrassing them, unfortunately. It's just an embarrassment in Denver. This is not what the Broncos are. This is the Josh McDaniels situation all over again. Nathaniel Hackett's got to admit, I'm screwing up, and he can save it if he admits he's screwing up and changes what he does. But it's not working. It's not working. And you may just need to get off of Hackett at the end of this year and move forward in a different direction next year. And honestly, not a bad option. With Russell Wilson, bring in a coach that's defense, because your defense is really good. Bring in a defensive coach, potentially, and a really good offensive coordinator, may be all Denver needs. Not kidding. That could be all Denver needs. So look out for that. Maybe Brian Flores. That 3-4 defense is good. Maybe Brian Flores. If Brian Flores brings in Matt Nagy, remember, Matt Nagy as an offensive coordinator is not bad. Not bad at all. As an offensive coordinator, he got Mitch Trubisky to be the quarterback that he was. And nobody really thought Trubisky was good, but he designed the offense around his quarterback. You bring in Flores for the defense. That defense is going to be tight, probably top 3 in the NFL. Bring in Nagy to help the offense. There's options for the Broncos to be able to play really well with the team they currently have built without blowing anything up. But the coach, I think, has to go. There was a whiff on the coach. This ownership group didn't hire him. Need to move on. Mike McDaniel for the Miami Dolphins. I'm not going to hold him responsible for all the injuries. I think he has done an A job with the Dolphins. They had a lot of controversy. They had a lot of issues between the Flores owner, Stephen Ross, all the issues that happened in the offseason. Mike McDaniel has done a good job of navigating all that. The offense looks crisp. It looks clean. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are getting so many receptions, it's not even funny. Let's just be honest. This team, healthy, is a scary team to face. I think he's still got some things he's going to have to work on. I don't know if he's going to be able to do the defensive side of the ball the way he needs to. Even the San Francisco teams, they have a defense to complement that offense. And really, I think Miami's going to need that if they're going to compete for a playoff spot. But I absolutely give Mike McDaniel credit. He has weathered the storm, and he's done a very good job of it. I like what he's doing, no questions asked. Josh McDaniels in Las Vegas Raiders. This may be a little bit of, it may not be completely fair, but I don't think he's a coach. He's another one. He's an offensive coordinator. I don't think he's a head coach. I really give him a D. Almost an F. Probably more closer to an F. You got Devontae Adams, Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs. Waller's been hurt, fine. Um, the defense has Chandler Jones. They won more games last year with basically no head coach, interim coach, lots of controversy, lots of issues, lots of drama, and you can't win with this team? You're bad. You're bad. You went backwards with the team that made the playoffs last year, and the team got arguably better defensively. Chandler Jones for Yannick Ngakoue. I'll take Chandler Jones more. Chandler Jones' motor is amazing. Plus, you got Rock Ya-Sin in the trade for Ngakoue, and you got the third round pick. So you're really looking good. Like, really looking good for the future. I never liked the hire. I didn't like the hire. He's not producing again as a head coach. McDaniels just isn't a head coach. He doesn't act like it. His teams don't act like it. A D- to an F. So unfortunately, two of the AFC West teams just are struggling with coaches, and that is probably the most skill and talent-wise is the toughest division to play in. But the head coaches are making that division really a one team. It's the Chiefs. Because the Brandon Staley for the Chargers isn't on this list. He's not new. But nobody trusts him either. His team doesn't trust him. So that arguably the conference with the most skilled teams, the four most skilled teams that are in one conference are right there in the AFC West, and the head coaches are the problem. You could see 3 new head coaches in the AFC West next year. I don't think it's going to happen, but if I'm the Raiders and I'm going, I made the playoffs last year, Gruden gets fired / resigns. I've got the backup interim coach winning games, making the playoffs, looking good while doing it. And this year we just look bad. Okay, I whiffed. Like some of these owners are realizing you can't whiff that bad. You don't want to be in the bottom part of this, and they could have a really good draft pick again. They could have a really good draft pick and be able to really solidify one of the two sides of the ball. Or both. Draft capital's there. So for Josh McDaniels, D- to an F. Brian Daboll with the New York Football Giants, A, and A. Dang it. He's got them at 5-1, folks. And he knows what they are. He plays to what the Giants are. He doesn't question anything about what the team can or can't do. He only plays to their strengths. And by golly, I would trust him with any team. I would trust him with any team. Brian Daboll is a man that came in, understood the team he took over, did all the data, did all the analytics, put everything together, looked at what he saw in training camp and said, we can win, but only if we do it this way. This is the way we have to win football games. We get outside of this, we're not going to be able to win. He has leaned into it. He has coached it. He has preached it. Probably A+ for Brian. You're 5-1 on a team that people didn't even predict to get 4 wins this year. You already beat the win total that most predicted you to have. That is absolutely amazing. Brian Daboll. I'm saying it. Head coach of the year. Absolutely coach of the year. 100%. It's what I love. All right. Let's get into, I got a couple different things here I want to be able to show you guys, and then we'll wrap up this video here. So here is the records in the AFC by division right now. So when you look at the records, you would say, oh wow, the AFC East is the best. Well, you got the Buffalo Bills with 1 loss. The Jets somehow are 4-2. Patriots are 3-3, and then the Dolphins have 2 wins. So, yeah. On paper, they look like the best. Now, do I think the Jets sustain it? Like I said in the video on Tuesday, no. I don't think it's sustainable whatsoever. But division records right now show AFC East is the best. AFC West is second, but we've got 3 teams we have head coaching questions on, major question marks on. AFC North, it's muddled, but it looks like the AFC North should be. The Browns are a couple of really bad decisions away from getting 2 more wins, and that division being 12-12 instead. I think the Browns' play calling has lost them games because they didn't just trust what they do. Give the ball to Chubb or Hunt. Like, what are you doing? Don't force a pass when you don't need to. I think they've tried to get too cute, tried to do too much in a couple of their games, primarily the game against the Jets. The game against the Chargers, but they should have won that one. Missed field goals did them in. The AFC South, I said, was probably one of the weakest divisions. It may not be the weakest, but it's one of the weakest. One of the 2 weakest, undoubtedly. The Colts, if they can get everything going, they play the Titans this week. They would be first in the division with a win this week. The Jaguars are good. The Texans, like we've talked about, they're there. You're not going to blow them out right now, which means the games are close, and it's not easy to win close games. Not easy to win close games. So you don't want to play the Jaguars or the Texans in there. You don't want to play Jacksonville in Duval. You don't want to play Houston in Houston. Like, you don't want to play a road game against those 2 teams. They're good. They're good at home. They're tough at home. You rather have them on the road. Be careful. They could upset a lot of teams. Like I said, I could see the Texans still getting 4 or 5 wins this year, and I can see the Jaguars getting 8. I really can. The team, the defense, the offense, the chemistry is there. They've had 6 weeks now to be able to play together. Look out. They could get on a hot streak. They don't play the Colts again, so I'm good. They can get 6 straight wins. I'm good. But those are the records by division for the AFC. Now, I've also got this that I want to show you guys here. Let me pull it up. Where did it go? There it is. All right, here is the playoff picture. I know it's only week 6. Give me a break. I'm aware it's only week 6, but check this out. Check out the matchups we would have. Okay? And I'm going to go back. I'm going backwards in time. Check out the matchups we would have. We'd have the Vikings versus the Rams. Kevin O'Connell leaves Sean McVay and then gets a home game against Sean McVay in the playoffs, round number 1. Huge. Tampa Bay is going to win their division. Let's just not pretend about this. Tampa Bay is going to win their division. I don't think they'll be the 3 seed. They'll probably be the 4th by the time it rolls around. But Dallas plays Tampa Bay again in the playoffs in Tampa Bay. Again, that defense for Dallas has clicked. It's dangerous. You don't want to play them. Giants versus Niners. I remember these matchups. I remember the Rams versus Vikings matchups. I remember the Giants versus 49ers. Like 2 or 3 years in a row, they played each other. In the early thousands, late 90s. Like, this looks like a throwback system. The Colts and Chiefs seemingly played each other in the playoffs. Like, we played them when they had Priest Holmes. And then the year we won the Super Bowl, we played them at home. Like, that Colts at Chiefs, we beat them, 2 years ago with Jacoby Brissett on the road in Kansas City on Sunday Night Football. The Jets versus Titans, I don't think Titans are going to be there. I still think they're going to fall out, so that's not going to be where they're at. Jets versus Titans would be an interesting matchup. Defense versus offense. Like, that would be the battle of Derrick Henry versus the Jets' young defense. And then the Chargers and Ravens. Who can forget Joe Flacco versus Phillip Rivers, LaDainian Tomlinson, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. Like, we have got some those are good matchups for anybody who loves throwbacks. Currently, you'd almost be like, the Giants are overachieving. They can't play with the Niners. The Rams and Vikings we'd expect to be a really good game. That would be a really highly watched game. Bucks, Cowboys could win it. It would be a highly watched game. AFC, everybody's picking the Chiefs. More than likely, everybody's going to pick the Ravens. The Jets and Titans would be a very big wild card. Okay, but I don't think that's going to be the team that's there. But as of 6 weeks right now, the Eagles and the Bills are sitting up top. Bills are still my Super Bowl champ, but dang it, the 49ers with the Christian McCaffrey trade last night, the Eagles, those are two very tough foes to have to potentially play. But I don't think anybody's going to beat Buffalo. I just don't think anybody's going to beat Buffalo. So that is the playoff picture through 6 weeks. All right, guys. Hallelujah. We got it. 30-minute video. That'll work. All right, guys. Tomorrow morning, College Football Corner. Looking at the day of college football. We'll do that tomorrow morning, and then obviously the picks on Sunday. You guys have an absolutely great rest of the evening tonight, and we will see you guys for the College Corner video in the morning. Have a great day. Wings up, hawk out, football on.